Welcome, people. How you doing, Orlando City fans? My name is Luis Carlos Pineda from Area Sports Network, and this is Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando. This is a big welcome. It's a brand new adventure that I'm starting here with David Valentin, and he's right here on my left. And also Area Sports Network. Just want to give him a heads up to the 9 people that are online right now. Thank you so much. Leave your thumbs up, leave your comment, and also don't forget about the survey. The survey today, it's very to the point. Pato in 2022, will it work? You have two options. Yes, he's a world class player, or no, he will get injured again. That is the thumbnail. We have a lot to talk about. Pretty much, just to go off. Make sure we're a brand new channel here, also on Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you again for all the support that we've gotten through social media. And follow us. Follow us on Facebook. We're right now live on Facebook as well on Loud and Proud Orlando. We're um, also live in on Twitter. This is on Twitter as well. Loud and Proud LPO podcast, and also on YouTube. So just make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications for all the latest news that I'm going to be bringing to you here with David, and also other people that are going to be joining the party at some point. So if you're an avid Orlando fan, you want to be part of this team, more than welcome. Just shoot me a DM. We'll definitely be able to talk to you. So there's going to be, this is for the fans, and this is also to support our club. And this is something that I'm very dearest to my heart. I grew up in Orlando, and so I'm very excited and very happy to be here. It's January the 8th, 7:05 p.m. Thank you so much to the 12 people watching us right now. The first show here at Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much. So without further ado, David, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Luis. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this new project. When you brought it up to me, I thought that was super exciting because it's something that uh, hasn't happened for us. Other clubs have similar concepts, and I'm very glad to be here. For those that don't know, Luis has been in my podcast, Tiro de Esquina, which is a Spanish language podcast covering Orlando City, and that's how we met. And he has been on the show several times. And then one day he said, "Hey, I have this idea. Will you want to be part of it?" And here we are. To introduce myself to all those that perhaps don't know me, my name is David Valentin. I've been in Orlando since 1998. I've been a fan of Orlando City since 2011, since the very beginning. And I have followed this team way back when it was just Section 124, the Rockets 121 for the ILF, and just a bunch of, I don't know how to describe it, just a bunch of people that love football and they wanted to follow this little club that today is this mega institution that has had great players like Nani, Kaká wearing their colors, and I've been a staple on OC Twitter for many years, and also I'm a vlogger. I also have my personal channel, which I will be sharing with you guys later on. But if something I like to do is to talk about Orlando City, so let's get to it.
Yeah, definitely. Before we start, I want to thank again Area Sports Network. Make sure you check out. We're live also in their channel. If you're already subscribed to them, check them out. Subscribe to their channel as well. Right there as Area Sports Network on Twitter at Area Sports Net, and also on Facebook as Area Sports Network. They always have the latest from all the MLS. So it's not just Orlando. I'm the one who covers Orlando with Alonso. I want to say hello to him. He's probably watching right now. But you know, we have the reach of area is pretty big. So I just want to say hello to everybody there. Juan Carlos from NYC, Brandon from Houston that was helping me out with the Instagram. So thank you so much to them. Area Sports Network, check them out. The first subject is I think straightforward. Facundo Torres, right? The saga, the telenovela that has erupted from his signing. Personally, to me, according to sources that I have from Uruguay, they're already announcing that he's going to be an Orlando City player. essentially is the same deal as Pato. They're just waiting for the Mark Thor picture that come up in on Twitter. Guys, I think it's a done deal. I don't think it's gonna fall through. $10 million, 70% of his transfer. Um, he is, and this again, I've heard a lot of people, and I'm going to speak my mind now. I heard a lot of people online saying, Penn Soil, who's this team? What have they won? And I think that's disrespectful. Peñarol is one of the biggest clubs in South America. If they're in the history level with Boca and River. They're a huge club, and obviously, you have to understand situations over there in South America are not great. Um, Negotiations with a big club like that are like that. I think the people need to get used to dealing with that type of pressure. It's part of the game. It's a player that has been rated to be uh, one of the replacements of the Uruguayan national team right up front. I mean, they have Luis Suarez and Cavani right now, but they're almost on the end of their careers. He's the future. So they're calling him and his partner Canovio, which is a target for San Jose Earthquakes, as the future of Uruguayan soccer. And Uruguayan has won World Cups. We cannot forget that either. They have elite players, and it's a huge club. So I'm happy that this is the way Orlando City is managing themselves. I think the team is getting much younger. Yeah, for the casual fan, I'm gonna put wrestling terms here. He may not sound like a Nani. He may not sound like a Solskjaer. He might not sound like a Cantona. He definitely might not sound like a Messi or Ronaldo. But I can definitely guarantee you he's going to score a lot of goals, and he's going to make a statement. So I'm happy that Orlando and everybody there in the front office is doing their part to sign this guy. He's worth the money, and I think it's if that's the way Orlando is heading towards getting all these 20-year-olds. I personally myself, I like that. If you like the way Borussia Dortmund plays, if you like the way RB Leipzig plays, Bayern plays, we got to get younger. We got to get younger to get titles. We cannot get just a name. A name now doesn't cut it. It's a collective game. So I don't know what you think about that, David.
No, absolutely. And to expand on what you said, we have to respect the history of a club that was born in 1891 with 53 championships. If we want to build bridges with Central America, we have to respect them. We have to show respect for the quality of player they are giving us. They are perfectly in the right to be upset at Facundo coming to us because unfortunately our reputation in a lot of Central American and South American countries is that we are a retirement league. And the only way we are going to change that mentality is by bringing studs like Facundo Torres into Orlando, and with that, win championships. That's the only way you shut the myth. This is something that myself, Luis, our friend Sergio Ruiz Torres, and a bunch of podcasters have been fighting for years, is to give our league credibility. This is how you start. The kid is $10 million. He scored 10 goals in 51 appearances for Peñarol, 21 years old. The Primera División, which is the first division of Uruguayan football, is the closest thing to English football that we have. If you know the history of Uruguay, basically is a buffer country created between Brazil and Argentina, so they won't kill each other. And England was involved in that. It was its main trading partner. That's how football arrives in Uruguay. The clubs, the very familiar names: Wanderers, Liverpool. So these guys hold a tradition. They are the first winners of the World Cup, and they are a powerhouse, and they have nothing to be embarrassed about their football. And we are getting what is considered one of their rising stars. About Facundo, I can tell you, anybody that has followed me in Twitter knows that I knew something, and I'm not gonna reveal my source. Many of you said don't say it because it will be disrespectful to that person and may it may also prevent you from getting intimate with other players in the future. And I agree with that. All I have to say is a person in the inner circle of Facundo Torres. Luis knows who it is, so he knows.
Right.
And I shared this with a lot of podcasters. I shared this with all the media that covers Orlando City, and everybody agreed. Just keep this person quiet. I wanted to say it obviously to prove to the haters that we all have online that we are telling the truth. But you know what? Suck a lemon.
No,
So
no, no. I mean, it's pretty much done. I mean, you know, I believe personally, if the league wants to grow, it needs to get this young.
yes.
If the league wants to grow, wants to compete, needs to get this young. Needs to get these young.
Hmm.
Orlando, it's not Miami. It's not LA. It's not New York. So we have our own identity. That's what a lot of people forget. And I think getting players from teams like Peñarol doing proper scouting. I'm very impressed of the players Orlando City is getting this year. I know a lot of casual fans, and trust me, I'm a Society 21 member myself. Um, you know, are who is this guy?
Hmm.
Who is this young guy? He is, they put striking matches as pictures and as gifs, and that's cool and cute and funny and it is part of the gag of being online. But it also tells us that there is a section of the MLS that wants to keep the old model, right? Wants to keep what Inter Miami is about to do before the next World Cup, which is bringing Messi and Suarez. I just dropped a nuke right now, but it's probably that's what's they're heading towards.
Hmm.
And all I'm saying is that's the old model. We're using our youth, which is the way clubs now are working. We're using our players that are in an age to compete, like Lions blog says here, a great point. We also need to respect the front offices and all negotiations in case we want another player in the future. And Jim D, he's completely right. In MLS, running for 80, 90 minutes is crucial. Youth will be key. So
Absolutely.
I agree with Jim 110%.
Yeah.
He, you know, getting younger, and same as with the Pride. I know there's a lot of people upset. The Pride's getting younger, and believe it or not, it's not a bad thing. Go ahead, Dave.
No, absolutely. And to finish the story about Facundo, so this person in the inner circle approached the DMs of Tiro de Esquina podcast, and this person was really curious about what kind of club we are, our fan base, what is it like to live in the city of Orlando, how much English do you need to know, how will it be? Obviously, this person had a strong interest in the well-being on this of this young man. And as a father myself, obviously, that's the type of questions that I will ask. If you're smart and you already figured it out. I've been talking to this person for a while, and originally, uh, Peñarol turned it down. Peñarol said, we're
Right.
not interested. And the family, after finding out how much money he was going to be making, also, Facundo's going to be receiving a bonus out of the sale. It was reported 20%. I absolutely don't know if it's true. So 20% out of $10 million is a lot of money. The exchange right now is $1 to 47 Uruguayan pesos. The Uruguayan peso has been on a nosedive. It has been devaluating for many years. Financially and economically, the country is not doing that great. There's as many people in all of Uruguay as in Metro Orlando, 3.4 million people. So it's not a big country. This is a life
Yeah.
changing opportunity for Facundo, who comes from a middle class family. His salary at Peñarol it was $35,000 a year. So definitely this is life changing. So they went to the meeting and they basically told them you have to release us. You promised us. One of the things is Facundo could have left on a free as a favor to his childhood club. He resigned with the gentleman's agreement. A lesson
Right.
here, everything in writing, with a gentleman's agreement that if an offer were to come, that the Peñarol was going to let them go. But that did not take place. Now they fought hard, and after that, They were like, "We want to go. This is what we want to do." And after that, they were left out of the negotiations because at this point it's club to club. Orlando City made some offers. Peñarol kept moving the carrot, and that's an expression that I heard from several reporters covering the team that they felt that Peñarol was not being truthful with Orlando City because every time they kept moving the lane, the line, moving and moving and moving it, and finally, it has come. It has come true, as you said. That I just retweeted the latest information coming out of Uruguay. Is pretty much a done deal. One of the things about Facundo also, he just got selected for the national team. The
Yeah.
kid is everything that you will want in a footballer. And the most important thing, and with this, I give you the microphone, Luis. He wants to be here. When was the last time we had talent of this quality saying, I want to be a lion? Never.
Right, and I know people's sentiment. Nani. He's been. And this is also thanks to Oscar Pareja. I mean, you have to give the man credit. He his whole staff is probably the best staff in the MLS. And I know people are gonna say, "Hey, you're speaking because you're wearing an Orlando City hat." No, no, man. This is the FC Dallas Academy Youth. These are the creators of that concept. There are stars now in the U.S. men national team that Luis Musi worked there. Pareja worked there. So they're bringing this to Orlando. Orlando is their youth won a championship, right? So
Mm-hmm.
all I'm trying to say is, I think Orlando's doing the strides. It may not sound as Anani, it may not sound as a Kaká. He's definitely not. But he's a young, talented player that even, for example, I cover a lot of the Peruvian leagues and Copa Libertadores. A lot of clubs been interested, especially teams in Brazil, top teams, Sao Paulo, Santos, Flamengo. So the MLS right now is tapping into the Uruguayan market a lot. And this is because you have, in a way, high production players with, a lot of potential at a lower cost, than usually you will get somebody from Eastern Europe that Orlando used to do when, you used to get other players or recycle players from the MLS as well. Now, I think the scouting, us tapping the Uruguayan League, which is one of the toughest in the region, I personally think it's the way to go. Another league that I truly like is the Ecuadorian League, but they are feeding the Brazilian Serie A. There's a lot of Ecuadorians that are going to Serie A Brazil because they're paying a lot. Their physicality is very similar. So their assimilation is faster there for the Ecuadorians. So it's just good that those markets are opening up. Uruguay, Peru, I think Orlando is doing the right thing. And, as Orlando City fans, guys, we've had two fantastic seasons. Whether we didn't make it, compared to since the club was the start in the MLS, it was a disaster. And I think you guys can agree with that. I think we're moving forward. I think the club is ready to make some moves, and I'm glad to see them compete, trying to compete for players like this. And I don't know what are your thoughts, your last thoughts. To We can just move to the next subject,
No, absolutely. So
David.
to conclude, this is going to be a great challenge for not only Facundo, but for our next target, Cesar Araujo, because the first division of Uruguayan football, with the exception of one team, so 15 of the teams are located within Metro Montevideo. Montevideo is the capital of Uruguay. So all the teams are fairly close to each other, with the exception of one of the teams, which is close to in the north, close to the border with Brazil. So Facundo basically is used to probably driving himself to the games. This time he's going to be traveling several time zones, altitudes, weather. So this is going to be an incredible challenge for him. New culture, new language, probably away from home. The challenges, which is the person in his camp that approached me, I was very honest with him and I said, this is going to push him to the limits. If he wants to go to Europe, this is the place to sort of grind your stone. And I think this is going to be great. Now, to the fans, I asked them right now, we're going to have to be patient with him as he gets used to our league, the travel, the code, everything, because this is a young kid. I'm 45 years old. 21 is young to me, super young. and is like everything in life is a challenge. So I don't want people to say, well, he's worth $10 million. I expect 7 goals every game. So let's be patient. Let's be welcoming, because if this goes as expected,
He might
there will
do
be more
it.
to come.
He might do it. Like the
Yeah,
kid. Like, I mean, I don't wanna blow smoke at people's, but I'm saying, I mean, he just Peruvian media, just quoting them, they call this guy the Uruguayan Neymar. And I know that I'm just bringing that out, and I'm probably opening up Pandora's box right now, but that is how they are calling them. So you have to understand, for a club like Peñarol to let him go like that, they have to make sure that they play a little bit of hardball, and I think
hmm
that's why they did. But I know for a fact, I also have a source. He says, 2 days ago, everything was dead. But a few days ago, everything was dead. But they're back in the fight, and I think they're going to win the fight, for everything that it looks. Yeah, 2 minutes ago, Uruguayan outlets are saying that he's going to be a player for Orlando City pending medical. So $10 million cash. So it is what it is. So good for Orlando City. They're getting a great player, and I believe that there's good things to come for Orlando City. So let's go through the second subject. Is the first signing of 2022. And again, Orlando's getting younger, and a lot of people might not have heard of him, but Cesar Araujo is one of the big promise. Him and his brother. His brother plays in Liga MX. He's a good prospect. Also did under 20 in Uruguay for the national team. Cesar Araujo is a number 6. That's the number 6 that we needed. That's the partner for Junior Urso that Orlando City needed. If Junior Urso likes to go on the attack and also has you know little sparks of defending and being very physical, this guy is pure physical. I mean, this guy is a true 6, coming from a league that you play with a lot of contact. He's used to a lot of contact. So you're having that as your cornerstone right in the middle. You have Perea as an exchange in the second half, as a potential sub. Then you have the depth of Pereira up front at 10. He can play actually the 10, and I think Orlando is getting a good player at a good age. So he comes from a small club in Uruguay, Montevideo Wanderers. Yes, he has 0 goals. Yeah, people are saying he has 0 goals. Yeah, he has 0 goals.
He's in a position that he doesn't have to score
Right.
goals.
He doesn't have to score goals. He's not a striker. So and but he is a great prospect. And personally, I think Orlando is doing a great job, because this is the type of players that are going to last you 90 minutes.
No, absolutely. And you know what? He's coming from a team, Montevideo Wanderers, who finished sixth
Exactly.
last campaign, founded in 1902. Unlike Peñarol, which is the giant of Uruguay, Montevideo Wanderers is a club that it's middle of the table club. It's basically Cedar. What's considered Cedar basically creates players to sell, and Cesar Araujo also has been selected to be with the national team. And if you can make the national team of Uruguay, you make the national team of pretty much any other country in the world. Cesar has a very good attitude. He definitely wanted to be here. If you look at his social media, super humble guy. Just thankful for the opportunity. I think it's gonna be great for him to have fellow Uruguayan Facundo Torres with him. They know each other. Obviously, they have
En Mauricio
and
también.
Mauricio. Mauricio is a
Mauricio as
product of
well.
Nacional. Jose Aja, who we had here previously, was also a product of Nacional, which is the second biggest team in Uruguay. And I think these three gentlemen are gonna be very well acquainted. And what I like about Cesar Araujo is that it's the Uruguayan Higuita minus the yellow cards. So
Right.
he's defensively solid, keeps a cool head, and I think that under Oscar Pareja, this guy, 20 years old by the way, this guy is definitely gonna reach at his potential here with us.
Yeah, a lot of people think six yellow cards. It's a lot. You're talking about Uruguayan soccer. You're talking about teams that are gonna play Copa Sudamericana, a level the United States is not used to. I would recommend people to go watch it. You guys are not used to seeing a level of football so competitive like
Luis,
Copa
there's a comment
Sudamericana.
here from Gamma NYFE. Knifey. Lots of goals start from good play in the midfield. And I agree.
Right.
Assists have to come from somewhere. Not everybody can score. So
Well, but you also have you need to stop the turnovers, right? You need somebody to actually is going to go for the kill in the mid. You can't just play passively. You have to also play aggressively. And I mean, I'm not saying that he's going to go and just get a red card. No, I'm saying
mhm,
you need to play with a little bit of an edge in that
absolutely.
position. And Urso plays with an edge, and we've seen him, but unfortunately, because he has to do so many things down in that middle area, uh, you know, he gets overwhelmed, and sometimes he loses faith and loses the ball and turns it over. Now we have a guy that can recoup the ball, that can actually play his position, play aggressively, and Urso can concentrate of being that going in the attack and then coming back. And
Mhm.
so personally, I think it's a win. This is his 2020 2020 data for Araujo. You know, 30 games played, started in 25 games, 74 minutes, zero assists, six yellow cards. And then you have also his 2021 numbers, which are fairly similar as well. Fairly similar. Well, 14 matches. I started all 14, 89 minutes, and five yellow cards and one red. Um,
All right.
People are looking at that and saying, "Oh my God!" Right? It is part of it is part of the game. And you also have to understand the staff that is surrounding this club. Obviously they're gonna talk to him about it. They've seen tape of the player, so I totally think that getting a player, and I think they said $2 million, right, David?
Yeah, correct.
$2 million. I think
Steal.
that's a steal. I mean, for the level of quality of player Orlando City is getting, it's a steal. He could have ended up playing in Peru, playing in Colombia.
And Gaston Gonzalez from Union still on the table, my friend. So this doesn't mean that that's over either. So we may hear more surprises as time goes by.
All right, this is here, Jim D. I'll take a talented kid who has something to prove over I came to smoke a cigarette on the pitch name.
Absolutely. Pecho frío.
Oh wow, wow, wow. No, no. Well, he's well, yeah, I know who he's talking about. That's funny.
Yeah, Higuain,
No,
Mr. Pecho Frío. For those that don't know, that means cold chested. That's what you call a player that just fails to rise to the occasion. I
yeah,
call him that every time he came to Orlando.
yeah, definitely. I mean, he's definitely a player. He's also being called up right now to play for his national team, for the adult national team for some the qualifier matches. He's in the reserves roster. So I
Hmm.
think it says here, Cleom Ferbert, it says, I need him to go in for Brian Ocampo. Now I'm greedy. Brian Ocampo just turned down an offer from Club America from Mexico. Right now, he's without a club. I would say we should definitely attempt to do have talks with him. I know that talks with the Orlando kind of stalled a little bit. There was some sort of interest, but Orlando's mindset was more in the, you know, I think we're getting a lot of the Uruguayan flavor, and in a way, Uruguayan soccer they play a lot of set pieces too, very very English like David was saying. So I think that is a good thing. That is a good thing that I've seen the team, for example, the past two seasons having 10 corners and not scoring not even one goal.
Yeah,
So I think we're getting players that can definitely assist on that in the aerial game, kind of, and I
absolutely.
think that's
And,
great. So mhm.
and for everybody, if you want a comparison of what Uruguayan football is, if you have watched League Two, League One in England, basically that's what you're getting. You're getting a very physical game, not high scoring, but the golazos are when they come, and you know it. And also, this are a lot of people have been telling me, oh, I hope he's not a flopper. And Uruguayan football is not known for that. Uruguayan football is known for scoring. People actually look down and throwing yourself on the floor and acting as if somebody shot you a rifle. So when it comes to Araujo and when it comes to Torres, I am super excited after watching hours of video on these two gentlemen. And like I said, they're under 21 years old. So these guys have a lot to prove. They are coming with a pedigree that we never had in this club, and I'm excited for what's to come in the season.
Yeah, Joe Parra says, very happy to have Araujo, but until Kyle Smith broke his ankle, Sebas was the guy. You're talking about that we need, the number six we need. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think he's a really good prospect. I think he's definitely going to make a lot of buzz. And, we have a lot of depth now. We
Yeah,
have Urso, we have Perea, we have also Mendes, and now we have Araujo, and I think it's going to be great. I
and
think
you're forgetting also Wilfredo Rivera, although he has not seen minutes with the first team. I got to see him on this under 20 tournament CONCACAF with Puerto Rico and the kid. I believe, obviously, I'm biased. I'm Puerto Rican. I'm an Orlando City fan, and I know his family. So I believe that he may be ready to step up this year as we are going to have Open Cup, Leagues Cup, and definitely one of the things that has happened to us over the years is injuries. And this season is gonna be breaking neck pace because it's a shorter season because of the World Cup.
yeah, Gamma Knife, it says, do you think that with these younger signings, we will see Pareja try to hit on the counter more often? Personally, and then David, I could pass the ball to David. Definitely, yeah, definitely they're going to go for the counter more. But I think the thing that he needs to put a stop to is the turnovers. I mean, Orlando has had the last two seasons, even though Orlando has made the playoffs, unnecessary turnovers in the mid. And I think, and also the back line, um, there some, Antonio Carlos gets injured, and then everybody gets injured. The Viking gets injured. So I think those have been really weak points for Orlando City the past season too. And I don't think I think having more depth right on the mid, somebody that could maybe help out a center back, have the pace to run back and forth. I think you're talking about a young guy like this. You're talking about Mendes doing that as well. I think Orlando's trying to stop the turnovers. In the counter side, you have Benji. You have Facundo now. Once it's Mark Thor throw his picture out. You have Pato, which we will talk about next, and they just have to stay healthy, right? I think we still need a couple of more signings. I do agree on that, especially on the wings, but we'll talk about that in a little bit, David.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
this is here, Jim D. Gamma. Good point. I was so sick of OC slowing down the play after a turnover and doing nothing about it.
Yeah, this fan base is used to the counterattack in the USL years. And Luis, you remember that we were very well known for the hockey breakaway and
Right.
the goals that came out of nothing. This Orlando City team has been a victim of breakaways, counterattack, and set pieces for years. If you guys see the game against Atlanta with the 53-second goal by Martinez, by Joseph Martinez, that's a perfect example. You look back at the tape. We give up the ball cheaply in the midfield. He catches our guys out of position. The ball is passed, and boom, he gets it back in a dangerous area, point blank, and it's over. That has happened to us several times. Actually, that game is probably the best example of what we're talking about. The two goals scored by Atlanta were super preventable. The second one, I think it was more criminal because you see how Juan just basically passes the Atlanta player. I can't remember his name right now. Nobody cares, right? And he just passes him, and then from top of the box, he scores a golazo. Nothing against Mason. I think Mason did fantastically that game. But the two goals were world beaters, and they were world beaters because in difference on the second one and the first one, they just caught us with our pants down.
I mean, you got as a to answer the question for Joshua Tall. I want to say hello to him too. He always follows us from Facebook, from Instagram also. Um, I think we need a left back. Yeah, I do believe so. But we need a striker, man. I mean, we need to. I mean, if we're spending 10 on Facundo, I would spend 15 or 20. Like honestly, the Argentinian market is booming right now. The economy there is bad. Go get Gustavo Bo's brother, La Panterita Bo. From Defensa y Justicia. It's a team from Argentina.
Gremio just got relegated in
Yeah, it's
Brazil.
it's a, it's a small team. There is a Gremio that got relegated also. We need to look into that. I think there's a lot of opportunity to get a player that maybe it's not a Messi, it's not a Mbappe, it's not a Lewandowski, but it's going to be a striker that's going to guarantee you the production that Dike is gone, man. Dike is in West Bromwich and he's probably going to kill it there. So we need to replace that and maybe find one that is going to be maybe top that or beat them. In my opinion, I mean, we can have Facundo on the wing. We can have Pato in the best shape of his life. We can have but we don't have the striker unless we play like Manchester City that plays with like Guardiola with a false nine. You know, maybe, but I don't see Pareja playing like that. I don't know what you think about that, David.
Well, to be honest with you, we don't know what this team is going to look like under Oscar Pareja's input. Now we're starting to see shades of what it's going to become. We have to remember that when he takes over in 2020, that was a very James O'Connor, Frankenstein team between him and Jason Christ. And he managed to grab that corpse and put it over the line. In 2021, we have things that went against us. The fact that Dike was not here for most of the early part of the season, that would have been critical for us down the line. Uh, Pato got injured, 60 something minutes into the first game. So this time we are taking all the players, all the dead weight, all those that did not contributed, all those that were past their years. Obviously, Nani, I believe in this club, we're always going to be talking about before and after this giant of world football. But the reality is that it's hard to excuse the salary that we were giving him for a player that in truthfulness was always going on a nosedive at the end of the season when we needed him the most. So as far as how Oscar Pareja is going to play, well, he said that in Dallas the problem was there wasn't the money to create his vision. Uh, Dallas was always focused on the academy. We have seen how Dallas has produced over 20 players right now playing in Europe. Last one is Pepe, right? And
Right, Pepe.
I
Twenty
believe
million.
yes,
20
yes,
million
and
guy, huh?
yeah, and these are players that know Oscar Pareja personally. I have met people who know Oscar Pareja. I personally, when I met him, and a lot of people will tell you this. Oscar Pareja is an individual that means what he says. He treats you like that you're worthy of his time. He's a humble man, very lovable, and I think that translates into the fact that the players really play for him. In the past, we had, and I'm not gonna mention names, but you probably will make this up. We had managers that will blame everybody but themselves, managers that were MIA, that were basically people that didn't even want to talk to the fans, and we have arrogance. And Oscar Pareja is none of them. And I see that you got Gaston Gonzalez from Union. This guy is one that I want really, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cleon Ferber says Patos a false nine. Yeah, but honestly, I mean, we'll talk about Pato in just a second. Pins and needles, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to set my hopes up, believe it or not.
Bubble wrap.
You know what I mean. I don't want to be controversial here, but it is what it is. Yeah, Pato's a false nine, but he played 26 minutes, I think, if so. Just that's all I'm saying. Brett Carl, I saw today that Orlando raised their offer for Gaston Gonzalez to by 1 million to roughly 3 million, right?
I'm gonna get him. I have a source,
Okay.
a reporter that covers Union, and I have to tell you, Union right now is building to be a selling team. They understand they're in the provinces, they're inland, and they're a small city, and that they're never gonna be a world beater. They're never gonna be a Boca. They're never gonna be a River Plate. So they want to develop talent to sell, win a couple of games, keep people happy and entertained. Gaston Gonzalez is gonna be bringing a lot of money to the club right now. Argentina is borderline a recession. So in the Argentinian peso, just like the Uruguayan peso, has been on a nosedive. So $3 million is going to be a lot. One of the things that we did not mention with Facundo, Peñarol plans to build a training facility out of the sale of this player, and Union is not far behind from that. Union has to do some repairs to their stadium. If you look at their stadium, it looks very much so like in Spanish we say potreros. I don't know how
Like
you say that in English, like a horse stable,
like a
right?
horse barn or
Yeah,
something,
horse
right?
barn. Yeah, that's so they need that money. Go ahead,
Wow.
at least.
No, no, no. I was just laughing at what you were saying because it's true. I mean, unfortunately, it's a sad thing because I grew up, for example, back home in Peru, idolizing the Argentina Superliga. Like I grew up idolizing. Like there's a lot of people all over South America that are Boca fans or River fans, and they're not even from Argentina. So
Hmm.
they had at some point some of the best players in the world. They used to beat everybody. They used to beat Brazilian teams all the time, and now Brazil, I think it's a different level than them in soccer wise. And this is not because I'm just talking, because I don't like Argentinians. I love Argentina. I love their food and everything. But I think Brazil right now, they're in a complete different level. That's why they're winning all Copa Libertadores and all Copa Sudamericana. They're winning them back to back. So Gaston Gonzalez, a million, 1.32 million, 23 games played, 15 started, 63 minutes, three times in the team of the week for the La Superliga Argentina. That means all the teams in that league. Five goals.
That's
Five
15 in
goals.
MLS.
Right. So my question is, he can play the left wing.
Yep.
He's a left winger. So again, we are putting. I mean, I'm just trying to not to be negative, but you know, if he's gonna be playing the left wing and he's gonna be playing the wing, and Facundo may be playing the other wing, I don't wanna, you know, uh, Pato is not gonna start. I'm just saying it. I don't think. I think we should start with these players. You know what I mean?
I believe, yeah, I agree
You
with you.
know.
And one of the things, Luis, before I forget, we let Emmanuel Mas go. Emmanuel Mas was a stopgap player, really. He's already in the wrong side of 30. He just signed this week with Estudiantes del Plata back in Argentina. And nice fella, nice guy. But the fact of the matter is, we cannot ignore the second goal at Nashville was all on him. So we did not see something that was worth bringing back, and we're definitely in the market for a left back. We know that Joao Moutinho is touch and go. I really like Joao Moutinho, but he has a lot of issues that
Yeah.
have to do with muscular and problems with his hip that keep plaguing this kid. I believe that in the past we have put our starting 11, especially under Heath, and we'll ride that pony until the wheels will come off. And we can't continue to do that. We have to have talent on the bench. That's why when people were saying, "Hey, should we bring back Dom Dwyer?" I said, "Hey, if the price is right, I wouldn't mind having that guy on the bench." Because in the past, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but in the past, the problem was that if the starter wasn't playing that day, there's the person that was taking their place, the definition and the level of talent was abysmal. It was abysmal, and we need, if big clubs, big teams have bench players that can basically walk into any other team and start, and we don't have that, unfortunately, or we did not have that in the past.
No, I agree with you in certain way. I mean, I think Moutinho is an extremely talented player. I mean, I think and I like the way he carries himself. He
Hmm.
carries himself in a very professional manner. He's all about the sport. He's a very responsible kid. I believe that you need to bring Moutinho off the bench. I think, and this is one of the things. I'm not here to criticize the moves. I'm here to kind of analyze the moves. Mas is no longer in the team, and I think Mas could have started. If not, I believe Kyle Smith, before he got injured, it was his year. So I think,
And Kyle Smith is just a fortunate
Moutinho.
coincidence, really.
Right, Moutinho is great going forward. He could do a filtered. He could do a pass. He could do. He could cross the ball very well. If he's one on one, he can maybe do some danger more than a striker. But defensively, I think that's his problem. On the
Mhm.
1v1, like for example, I remember when Tajon Buchanan played against him, Tajon Buchanan broke his ankles, dude. Like broke his ankles, completely broke his ankles. Rodolfo Pizarro broke his ankles too. He's no longer in Inter Miami. He's in Monterrey again. But
Yep.
I'm saying is, in that position, you need a pit bull, man. I mean, you need somebody that's gonna put a stop to the attack of the other team.
Absolutely. And
You
I want to
know,
address two of the comments, Luis,
sure.
from Mike. Mike, I'm gonna butcher your last name. Spillane, I believe.
Explain. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna pass and disagree on bringing down back David. It was an example.
No, yeah, yeah.
An example.
I'm on board with Mike.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. We can spend an hour here on Dom Dwyer. I need him to sign my game worn USL jersey. That's why I need him back. Um, the Jim D. I don't want to derail your program, but where do you
No, it's
see
fine. It's his
VW?
program, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is for you guys. Where do you see VDW? That's
Underwater,
Van der
underwater.
Water or Van der Water, as they said in Holland, fitting in this season. Bench starter. Puppy did not seem to be a big fan of his. I believe, my opinion, that he's not a starter. And that's gonna hurt a lot of people. I really think the guy is super committed. He really wanted to be here. He forced his team to let him go, but Sylvester was coming from a team in a part of Holland that it's just the boondocks. It's a countryside, and it wasn't a very good team in that league. And I think he needs work. We have the players. We have the. I mean, he has shown moments. The game against Atlanta, goal and assist.
Right,
And you have those moments where you're like, wow, this kid needs to start. It's sort of like what we had with Cash Mueller, where he would come in from the bench and like set the world ablaze, and then we start the kid the next week and he just lays an egg. So,
right.
my opinion, I think he needs time. If he doesn't get better, then he can be a great role player for us if he wants to play that role. Otherwise, he probably is gonna move on.
I think Oscar's gonna evaluate him in preseason for sure. There's a lot of players, and I want to commend the players because I've seen their social media. Antonio Carlos, he's in Brazil right now, training like Rocky, playing, fighting against the Russian. You're talking about Ruan, running and doing sprints and maintain himself fit. Kyle Smith also. You have a lot of players doing their part to get fit for the next season when they're not even, when they're on vacation essentially, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I think that's an attitude that you need to definitely applaud.
And,
When it comes to Van der Water,
mhm.
he has the skill. I mean, that left foot, and I said it, and when I did my thing with Area Sports, my report after the game, it's going to bring a lot of joy to a lot of Orlando City fans. And I wasn't incorrect. In fact, I think his issue is the physical. I mean, he probably thought the MLS, and this is the way it's thought in a different league. You think the MLS as a team that it's going to be a slow paced, but maybe that was when Robbie Keane used to play in the MLS, right? And now the MLS is a complete different beast. I mean, you're talking about physicality 101. So when he's met with somebody that is twice his size, a center back twice his size, like Alexandre Callens, for example, right? Or he's met with like what's his name? The guy from New England, Andrew Farrell,
Yeah.
right? He's met with Zimmerman, right? So when they go to take the ball away from him, and they have to be physical, he immediately loses the ball because he's smaller. He's very skilled with his feet, but you can recoup the ball faster just by putting some pressure right behind him. What he needs to do, he needs to work more on guarding, on his physicality, maybe gaining a little bit of more muscle mass.
Yes, I agree.
In my opinion, I think you add a little bit more of muscle mass on him, and I think we have a great winger there.
And that's worked for Fabian Bazan, who's our conditioning coach. I mean, I think Van der Water that he needs to bulk up. He's too skinny. There's a Joe Parra there. VDW has some skill, but he does not have a well-rounded game. Really needs to work on his right foot, and I agree 100% on that. He's heavily dependent on his strong foot, and we need somebody that can do some damage with his weaker foot. Nani was classic, scored some incredible golazos with his weaker foot. Hector Ayala, come on, Hector. I really like David, but that shouldn't be an example. I don't know what's worse, that example of seeing Merrim in Orlando uh, again
No,
a couple of weeks ago. Oh, by
that's
the way, he
pretty.
was only here working on his coaching license, just to let you guys know.
That's crazy, right? I mean, I mean, the people who remember those times. I mean, those were tough times, man. I mean, you're talking about being a season pass holder and seeing your team lose every freaking week.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, you know what I mean. And it's a hard earned money. You know what I mean. I personally, personally commend people. This is what soccer is about. Now Orlando is doing much better, and I believe Orlando has actually a plan now. And I think I commend the administration right now, getting younger. I think that's the way to go. All right, what's it says here? I choose not to remember 2018. Next
Okay.
topic.
Oh, you skip one about Alvaro Angulo.
Alvaro Angulo, right?
I think it's gonna happen. I believe so
Sorry,
too.
Cleon.
Profe Pareja is in Colombia right now visiting family. He has been making his rounds. He has been on TV, on radio, and on print. One of the things that we don't know in this country is how beloved and how respected he is back in Colombia. Alvaro Angulo is it's a 24-year-old defender. He has been with Rio Negro Aguilas since 2017. Has been with Colombia U23s. Listen. Players of caliber that want to come to Orlando, who's gonna say no?
Yeah, he's a great prospect. I'm going to add here something. The coach is a Peruvian guy. His name is Johan Fano. He used to play in Once Caldas, and I know him very well. He's a great coach. He exploits a lot of the physicality, especially on defense and on the wing. He loves playing a similar style as Pareja. I think that kid will fit like a glove in Orlando City. And be honest, like I said, it's a good job Orlando's doing of scouting. It's my first experience seeing this happening from Orlando City. I usually am used to hearing Adrian Winter and then people, bowing down, and now we're actually talking about players that, we're adding to the core, right? Nani's gone. We're adding to the core now, and I personally think that's the way to go.
I
A
would like to
ver,
answer that one because it's in Spanish. He doesn't
okay.
speak English. The Rock te lo voy a decir así. Básicamente ya todo está planchado, se ha confirmado de que Peñarol va a venderlo. Si te interesa saber acerca de todas las cosas que están pasando, te invito a que escuches mi podcast en español, Tiro de Esquina, que es en español, y así vamos a poder contestar todas tus preguntas. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
Right.
Luis.
No, 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 no. Y ya, y suscríbete al canal aquí de Loud and Proud. Siempre vamos a invitar gente que hable español. Así que bienvenido. Peñarol es un grande de Sudamérica. Así que estamos muy, muy contentos de tener un jugador de ese nivel y de esa categoría de club aquí en Orlando. Así que yo creo que el mundo necesita aprender un poco de clubes como Peñarol, clubes como
Ujú.
Boca, clubes como Liverpool, como Chelsea también, son
Exacto.
clubes muy grandes, así que
Y
de todas maneras, ¿no?
sí, finalmente The Rock, Tiro de Esquina está disponible en todas las aplicaciones donde tú usualmente consumes podcast y en versión video en mi canal personal, The Legendary David. Así que, y también estamos en Twitter, @tiro_city. All right, my friend. So we're just answering questions here from a Peñarol fan. That's basically what it was.
So, Alexandre Pato is back in 2022, yay or nay? A ver, let's start with you, David. What are your thoughts of Alexandre Pato
Listen, Alexander
being back?
Patos, yes. Personally, I think he's a fantastic player that has had a bad history of injuries. Uh, what we saw at the game versus Nashville was a glimpse of the type of stuff that we can see that we can expect from this player. He's coming out to us cheaply, in healthy. I was told by a source close to the team that they evaluated all that they saw in training, and they believe that Pato can definitely contribute from the bench to make because basically you're getting a player with a ton of skill that's going to come from the bench to kill games. Once maybe we need that extra goal, or we need to just basically stop gap in order to secure the result. That's what they're gonna be using him for. I'm okay with him. Super talented, and the fans tend to agree with me. Super talented and very affordable. And to be honest with you, if we were to let him go, other teams like Atlanta were gonna jump on him.
Sure. And just to add to it, the survey, right? 18 votes. Thank you so much for everybody that voted. 89% says he's a world class player and he needs to stay, and 11% is saying no, he will get injured again. For the money, I mean, a healthy Pato, I've seen, you can check out his Twitter. You can see a lot of people from Sao Paulo, telling him, come back, come back, come back, because he left. It was one of his best seasons after Europe, after failing in Chelsea, after maybe Milan. I think his brief moment in Sao Paulo was genius, and he left a big mark there. And they were trying to get him back, and he decided, like I said, Orlando is the place him and his family want to live, and he loves the city and loves the fans, and you know a club that backed him up. And when he only played not even, he played not even, I think, one game, and well, no, two, right, two or three
He played
games.
60 minutes the first game of the
Yeah,
year. He ended up being involved in 3 games at the end of the season.
right. So that's, and he understands that. So the clause here is, it's a renewal of a contract, and he also has a productivity bonus. Meaning is, he if he produces more, he gets paid more. So
And
it's right. Go
always,
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, Mike has a great point here. How cheap his contract is, Pato is worth the risk. We paid Uri and Tesho and Alex Alvarado, who has basically not played in this team, more money last year, and that's very true. That's an excellent point. That it's a roll of the dice, but a one that I will take any day, because I mean we're talking about a guy that played in some of the biggest European clubs, a guy that a Brazilian that played with the national team, a guy that play with one of the best teams in South America. I mean, we're Orlando City friends. We are not our our britches are not that big that we can go ahead and tell people like this to take a hike. We need it.
Right, that's right. I agree. I agree. Mike Spillane says how how I think you read this already, right?
Yes,
His
yeah.
yeah. So and then he says Angulo and Gaston will be great signings if we can get him over the line. I love the idea of bringing back Pato. I think all three of these with Torres get done. We just might need a target striker. I think exactly. I think Mike is on the ball here.
Mhm.
Um, Gamma Knife, it says, we got really unlucky. I think Pato had been healthy for like 6 years before he got injured last year. Hopefully, he'll be healthy for a while again. I hope so too. I think he's motivated to stay healthy, right? And I think he also wants to make sure he's taking care of Orlando City. He wants to make sure that people are gonna see him score goals, and he wants to produce for the team because this is a team that did not. He backed them up through this whole ordeal, right?
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
backed them up through this whole ordeal.
And
So
Luis, a lot of teams would have tossed him into the garbage immediately.
correct,
This guy, Carlos Rivas, went to the Israeli Premier League with Hapoel Hadera. Over there, he shared locker rooms with David Mateos, another waste of a player here in Orlando. And 3 games into the season, he blew his knee, and they just canceled his residency card. I don't know if they call them green cards over there, but they put him on an airplane. See you later. That's it. I mean, that's how it works in the world. Those of you that want the pro relegation system, that's how it works. You are hurt. You are not good to me. Here's some money, some petty cash. Get
that's
out of here.
right, that's
And
right,
we stood by Pato. Pato doesn't need the money. His wife is a huge television celebrity in Brazil.
that's right.
So, I see
Yeah,
that you have Pedro Gales, el pulpo there.
right, right. Yeah, that's our next topic. But you can definitely, I completely agree. I think Pato being back, coming off the bench, testing the waters, making sure he's healthy. I think it's a good deal for Orlando. I like the way Orlando's thinking right now. Silently, as many people, because I saw a lot of, and they're entitled to feel that way. I totally understand. Orlando has had really dark times in the past, you know, um, but this connection that there's Musi, Moreira, Pareja, and the staff, and how it's something that it's a core, right? And so we're building on the core, and I think it's just gonna get better. Just to kind of again remind everybody just to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank to the 20 people live right now with us. Thank you so much. Check us out on Facebook also as Loud and Proud Orlando, and on Twitter as at LPO_podcast. All the news and stuff will be posted there, as well as my personal Instagram is right there, Pineda_ORL. Also, David says at Florida_man76. We're available to take any questions anytime. This is the next topic. Pedro Galese, right? I'm just going to say this. The Saudi Super League is putting $1 million. Is a concrete offer. I know, sir, good source. It's about $1 million a year, plus bonuses, clean sheets, and stuff like that. Um, and I got a lot of heat from some people, right, that have been covering the team in the past, or have other outlets. I don't know, but I definitely was upset when I heard that he was not named the best keeper in the league, right? And I think Luis Musi, in a way, backed me up silently. I don't want to take credit for that, but I think that it was a bad decision from the league. I'm going to say it like that. Um, just because you go defend the colors of your national team doesn't mean you're going to go ahead and just lose being the best. I mean, he's been the best keeper in the league, in my opinion. And I know I'm an Orlando. I'm covering Orlando. I know I live in Orlando all my life. I know I love this city. I know I love the fans and everything. But I believe Galese um, surely uh, deserves what he's asking for. He's right now being paid, I think, 400,000.
Mhm.
He's the 13th best paid keeper in the league. 13th. 1-3 th, right? Brad Guzan is being paid 800. Saudi Arabia wants to pay him $1 million plus bonuses. I would say we cannot lose a player like Pedro Gales. We Orlando, I think, is making good moves. I know from talking to people close to him, he loves Orlando. He loves the fans. His wife loves the city. His kids are in love with the city of Orlando. They want to stay here for a long time.
Hmm.
But you have to understand, he's the head of the household.
Absolutely.
Just like you and me, dude. We're head of the household. We have to put food on the table. And if he wasn't for Galese, and I think a lot of people are going to agree with me, and if you don't agree with me, I will also read your comment. It's your opinion, and it's great.
Right.
um if it wasn't for Galese, Orlando would have lost a lot of games.
Absolutely.
A lot of games. Let's just not be funny about it. Let's be real. A lot of games. So what are your thoughts on this? I mean, pay up, because a lot of people are saying pay up. The pay
Well,
up
this is the
movement.
thing. A lot of people know that I served in the United States Navy. I've been to the Persian Gulf area. I've been to Bahrain, been to the UAE several times. The place in the summertime is unbearable. Might as well be in the center of the sun. It's nothing but sand. It's not a. It's, if it wasn't for oil, nobody would live there. I mean, it's very uh, a place that nobody will enjoy. For a Western woman like his wife, it definitely will find it tough to live in a super conservative Muslim country. For them, basically what happens in these countries is, as a foreigner, you sort of live in this expat communities, because it's not like you can go to a supermarket and buy pork. It doesn't exist. You can buy alcohol in a supermarket over there. So all the things like that will have to be done within these compounds where you will live. You live separated from regular society. And, yeah, he can make $1 million there, but what about the quality of life for himself, for his wife, for his kids? It's not gonna be a good one. I know that Pedro came here under a lot of controversy because of his actions in Peru. And like I told you when the first time you came to Tiro de Esquina, I'm not I don't want to revisit that. It's water on the bridge,
No,
you know.
yeah, I think
Uh,
it's
but the fact of the matter
unnecessary.
is, has nothing to do with the football. But as a family, they have healed here. His marriage is going stronger. You can see it on the pictures. You can see it on the attitude. There's a lot of people in the Peruvian community here in Orlando that has had interactions with him and his family and his kids, and they say these people really love to live in Orlando. They're very happy here. He can be a franchise player. He can be the face of Orlando City for many years to come. But yes, we need to compensate him accordingly. I don't want to overpay. Let's just be honest. I don't want to overpay. But like you said, this is a player that has saved our skin many, many, many times. And if you believe that that's not true, look at the game against Philadelphia Union in Orlando last year, and you tell me that we were gonna win that game. You tell me that the game against New York City in the
Right.
playoffs last year in Orlando, if we were going to win that game without Pedro Galese, an impossibility. We saw how we were with Pedro, and we saw how we were with what was his name, Brian. His last name escapes from mind.
Brian
Brian Rowe, and
Rowe.
we were night and day. We were night and day without him between the sticks. So I'm on his camp that he definitely needs better compensation. I believe that Ricardo and Luis Muzi respect this player, and let's sit
Yeah,
down and
sure.
find a nice middle ground. But I don't believe that we can have aspirations for a trophy without Pedro Galese. And Orlando City already has some targets. If this doesn't come to pass and he moves on, they have some targets overseas of American goalkeepers. I know of one that is very good. I don't want to say the name because I don't want to obviously ruin the negotiations or whatever. But one that is very good, and it's not the end of the world. Players come and go. The supporter remains. That's I always say that.
That's
But
right.
Peñarol is special.
I just think the Orlando City loses a lot without Pedro Alese as a goalkeeper. But let's read some comments here. It says here, Gamma Knife, if you can pay Galese, we have to spend big on our attack to offset the goals we'll probably allow, right? And yeah, he's got a lot of goals allowed too, Galese. His clean sheet record is not like pristine like other teams because other teams have better defenses. It's just, I mean, let's be honest. I don't want to be talking something that's not true. And Brett Carl says, I agree with you. We need to pay Galese much more. I agree. And Mike Spillane says two things. Galese is still under contract this year, so he's safe for now, and that's one. And two, I agree. Pay the man. League structure though won't allow paying him 1 million. Probably got to get him around 6 to 750. And then he says it's hard to pay a keeper that much as it hamstrings you in other areas. Is a very valid point. Cleon Ferbert says 620, 700,000 is a fair pay for a top five goalkeeper. Joshua Tall says, agree, we do need him to win championships. I agree, guys, 110%. You know, Personally, Mike, yes, he's safe for now, but he can talk to other teams. He'll be allowed to negotiate in the middle of his contract, so he can actually sign the deal with another team right away, and he could just set sail, you know, in the middle of the year when we are actually on the hunt for something, right? So that's not the ideal scenario for any team, in my opinion. And if Brad Gusan gets paid $800, I mean 800,000, right? And that's what the information I manage that I have, 800,000. You have to understand he's played Copa America. He's gotten to the finals of Copa America twice. He's played a World Cup, right? He's also he has his team fifth in the qualifiers, in the toughest qualifiers in the world, more than Europe, more than CONCACAF. I'm so sorry. The competition is not ideal. I think the US, Canada, and Mexico play, and we wish, I think Peru, Venezuela, and Bolivia would wish they will play in CONCACAF. We will
Absolutely.
probably qualify to the World Cup all the time. So, I think having a player to that level, not taking in consideration a player that has a resume of that caliber, I think we need to change that. You
And one
know,
quick thing before you continue reading the comments, Luis. The reason why his salary will be $1 million is because he's getting paid in reals. That's the currency in Saudi Arabia, and their currency is worth more than the U.S. dollar. One real is equals to 32 cents U.S. So while the salary is like $1 million, is much lower. In the local currency, so that's why the Saudi Arabian League gets to pay these exorbitant
right?
salaries. But the truth is, my friends, that playing in a stadium that is air conditioned with all male fans, because no women are not allowed to attend these events. That's what I'm saying.
No,
I've
it's
been
true.
to
It's
those
true.
countries. All the
No,
respect in
it's
the
true.
world, all the respect in the world to them. Everybody's entitled to their culture and their religion. Like I said, not only am I ethnic, I'm a religious minority in the United States. So I know what it is to be against the grain when everybody's celebrating their holidays and you're celebrating something else and all that, and have different views on what things are acceptable. But I just don't see the Galese family being happy in a country like that.
Well, he has friends there. I mean, just to be honest, I mean, Cristian Cueva plays in Alfate
Hmm.
in the same league. Andre Carrillo plays in Al Hilal, no, the best team there, right? And he'll be playing Al Nasser, which is a team that used to have a lot of cups, but now it's kind of going down the drain. And Russo is getting there, and he's pretty much getting all his old players from other clubs back. Like he wants another Peruvian guy, Carlos Zambrano, center back for Boca Juniors. He wants also some Colombian players he used to coach back in the day. So he's trying to build a team, a squad of Latin players in Saudi Arabia, pretty much, right? Um, yeah, the money's right, and he's the head of a household, right? He's gonna do right to his family. Alonso Inca, I want to say hello to him from Area Sports. It says, when was the last time a goalkeeper from Orlando City was part of the MLS All Star? Exactly, only
Hmm.
Galese. you
Yep.
know.
True.
Um, Max Spillane, I'm aware of that. They're also saying they will negotiate. They will negotiate after the qualifiers. Yes, that's also another thing. He also has received some sort of preliminary offer, from my understanding too. So, Mike Spillane, also MLS will always overpay for Americans coming back. That's where Gusan is at. He's proof of why you don't overpay at that position. Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, how come he's the best paid keeper in the league? I
Brad
don't.
Gusan, let me tell you something, Luis. I saw Brad Gusan in a friendly against Puerto Rico in my hometown of Bayamon, Puerto Rico, getting hammered from 35 yards out by a kid that plays USL. And those are the facts. Brad Gusan needs to invest that money to fix that lip, first of all. Second of all, he is benefiting from having some of the greatest talent this league has ever had in front of him. He's Mr. Relegation. He's not that good. And I believe that in 2022, we need to bury his career by scoring a ton of goals. Because if you go to Atlanta, they think he's very good. He isn't. He isn't. And if you shoot from afar, if you shoot from top of the box, you expose him to his weakness. He cannot deal with shots from outside the box. And unfortunately, in Orlando, we tried to go, up front with him, and he physically sort of like muscles the ball out. But the fact of the matter is, like you said, it's a name. It was an American national team. People
Right,
know him
but I mean, like he's saying, Max Payne, right? He's American and plays. So you mean nationality plays a role? I mean, I mean, we're talking about now, 21st century plays a role in,
for the
you know,
talking
I
heads in
mean,
MLS. He does. The
right,
Taylor Twomans and the
right,
Alexi Lalas of the world. He does.
right. You see what I'm saying? So I think that needs to change. I mean, I understand what he's saying, and I agree. I mean, those are his thoughts, and I respect them wholeheartedly. I think the great comments today from Mike definitely has made the show better for sure. So I appreciate his comments. But it's crazy, dude. I mean, the dude plays against 101 against Neymar, against
Messi,
freaking
Cavani.
right, and Braguzan is playing 101 against Kevin Molino. I'm so sorry, dudes, but it's just the way it is. GoalTube TV says saludos Pineda. I want to say hello to GoalTube TV, a great colleague here. He's from my Spanish show, Ladra el Fútbol. I want to say hi to all the guys over there. Cleon Ferber, it says he's not going anywhere. Oh, well, yeah, that's right.
We're
It could
praying.
be. Hopefully.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
honestly, hopefully. He can sign a pre-contract in July. He can't leave until 2023, but they will get him signed before then. I honestly pray to God that is. Be honest with you, Cleon. He's a great player. I think he was cut for Orlando, so I think he definitely will just soar here. I think his career will take off. Joshua Toll, we better keep Galese. A ver, let me see here. Screw it. Bring back Tally Hall. Jim D. All right.
Hey, I have a coworker that got a speeding ticket from Tally Hall. So he's doing his thing out there. So hey, more power to him.
Right. Well, we wanted to do an hour show. It's been impossible. I want to though
Absolutely.
appreciate everybody that's been here today. Over 24 people at some point. Online. Alonso Inca says the ball is in Orlando City. It's in Orlando City side. It's up to them to meet Galese's requirements. Right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And
uh,
go ahead. I'm sorry, Luis.
no. Go ahead, Dave.
No, I was gonna say, since I know that we already went over the time that we allowed ourselves, and we most likely we are rounding things up. I just want to mention to everybody, this Tuesday we are going to be having Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. We're gonna be having the super draft. Orlando City has been
All
tied
right.
to several names. One of them is Tor Ulfarsson from Iceland. Right now he's a forward at Duke. Has
He's a
played.
forward. A
He's a
dude.
forward. All the mock drafts say that we are basically going after the second reincarnation of Daryl Dike. So that's what. By the way, we are picking 18th, unless there's some trading that allows us to jump. 18th in the first, second, and third rounds. Most likely, the second and third are going to end up in OCB. I'm just letting you know from right now. And he has scored 15 times in the College Bowl. He's heavily dependent on service, but we already have a lot of players that we have discussed tonight that already provide that. So yeah, so I hope that Orlando City again can bring three new players to the team, and to round things up with Orlando City B. Orlando City B is going to be looking forward to bring up to the team Moises Tablanta, 20-year-old midfielder, Venezuelan.
He's a great player.
I in my podcast, that I have been preaching the
We should
gospel of
have him
Moises
here at
Tablante.
some point.
I ran into him when I went to see the U17s. The guy is in top shape, and if we don't sign this guy to the first team, the problem has been always his immigration status. Another team is going to take him. And lastly, Said Nevado, Puerto Rican Peruvian player, 17 years old. I saw him with the U20s of Puerto Rico. This kid is something. And Luis, and I know that you were so sad that he didn't pick Peru. This guy
No,
is a
it's
left winger with a lot gas in the tank. And the one player that I'm salivating over all of them, but this is the one that I really, really like. Kembo Guadalupe,
sí, Campbell
Peruvian,
Guadalupe.
born
Sí,
in Jersey, 17 years old, center back. This kid has the height, has the stamina, has the
he's a
physicality.
great
Oh
center back.
my goodness!
He's I mean, he's definitely gonna make the first team. That's all I'm saying. I mean, he has that potential. You know, and Alonso Inca, he's also upset. He says Peru didn't pick Said. I don't know why.
Well, he
you
played for
know,
Puerto Rico, and I tell you,
because we have Cuevita. We have Cuevita. You know,
he
he
is
drinks a lot of beer.
everything that he said that people say that he is. I was super impressed with him. And that, of course, Wilfredo Rivera, 18 winger, Thomas Williams, 17 defender, which, by the way, if his family, Thomas Williams' family, gets to listen to this, I appreciate all the love that you guys gave me at the stadium. These people were taking pictures with me. I'm a nobody, and they were super excited at the fact that I dedicated a few minutes of my vlog to talk about their son. Everything that I said there, I meant it, and I told you face to face. They are awesome people, and no surprise that Thomas is the type of human being and player that he is. He obviously learned it at home, and I expect 2022 to see these names to be well known at Exploring.
No, and I want to first and foremost thank Area Sports Network. We're actually live in their channel as well. Check them out. There's a lot of rumors going around with a lot of transactions. No, especially now that the draft is coming up. You know, Orlando may make some moves to get high, right? And check them out. They're gonna have the latest. I cover Orlando. That they're gonna have the latest from the insiders from all over the league. Area Sports Network's in YouTube. Make sure you click the bell, subscribe in Twitter as well as at Area Sports Net, Facebook as well as Area Sports Network. So thank you so much to Area Sports. I also, want to commend you guys to more than 24 people today. I think we killed it today. Thank you to everybody for the support. Loud and Proud Orlando in YouTube. Make sure to check us out. Click on the bell for all notifications, as well as we're on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Loud and Proud Orlando as well. At LPO_podcast on Twitter as well. And also, you have my Twitter right here at Pineda_ORL. And you have Florida Man _76 for David. And obviously, don't forget about Tiro de Esquina podcast, right? What days do they come, Tiro de Esquina, David?
Tiro de Esquina right now is on hiatus. This week, we are looking forward to recording either with my co-host Kenneth or Sergio Ruiz Torres, who's going to be probably the last minute replacement. So unfortunately, Kenneth's job is preventing him from recording with me all the time. So this season, we're probably going to have a revolving door of co-host. So hopefully next week we'll put out another episode. That's Tiro de Esquina, corner kick in Spanish, in any application where you guys consume your podcast. And also the Legendary David, which is my personal channel on YouTube, where I vlog about going to the stadium and other things in Spanish and English. So some episodes are in Spanish, some episodes are in English. everybody's welcome to join the party.
So before we go, we're up. We have a Spotify account. I just opened it up today. This episode is going to be in via audio as well. Every single episode, we're going to be on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. moving forward. So we start this Monday with the latest news. Hopefully by then, Facundo should be sealed and delivered with Mark Thorne. His amazing pictures. I want to give a shout out to him as well. La Huacha, just the last two comments. It says, what kind of footballers does Orlando need now? What position is an urgency to hire in the club?
Striker.
Strikers and left back, I think, in my opinion. And
Absolutely,
this is
absolutely.
my friend Alvaro Pesan. I want to say hello to him. He's a mastermind in video editing, so I want to give him a heads up. He's a great guy. So we'll see him later in Ladre el Fútbol. So thank you so much. Mike Spillane, everybody that was here today, every single body, Jim D, who else? Who else we have here? Iris, Joshua Tall, um, Cleon Furbert, everybody from Orlando Lions Den, right?
Yeah, brother. Those guys gave me my
They're
opportunity first
amazing.
time.
They're
Lot
great
of love for
guys.
them.
We should definitely. I mean, we're down to collab, guys. So we'll be delighted to have you over here, and get to meet your crowd as well. Gamma Knife, everybody that was here today. The Rock, Red Carl, everyone that was here. Brian Guerrero, Joe Parra, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around with us. We'll be back on Monday, and I just want to before I go, I just want to say all four picks for Orlando are playing now in Europe.
Yep.
So that's the level of vision that the club is having. So that's the type of players they're going to pick in the draft. So I think we need to keep an eye on that. I think that's great. Dike in West Bromwich Albion. You have Richard Larea, Richie
Richie Larea,
Larea in Nottingham Forest, which is a historic club in England.
Chris
You know,
Mueller,
Chris
Hibernian,
Mueller in Hibernian, and then you have
Kyle Aaron.
Kyle Aaron, right? And the love him or hate him, right? But
Yeah.
I think Dike, in my opinion, Dike is better. That's just my personal opinion. But thank you guys for everything. This has been our first episode. So stick around, check us out on our social media. Also, thank you to Area Sports Networks, and you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. We'll see you
Vamos
soon.
Orlando.
Vamos Orlando. Cuídense. Take care.